Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to go noodle like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Dougal, then we get some answers.
Go for the weak point! Not a let the marksman handle this! Raging down! None shall escape my judgment!
Take this!
Magic is air thrust! You got it! None shall escape! My savior!
Bloody howling!
A freezing storm! Not in your dreams! Ice tornado! None shall escape my raging storm! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Lightning condemned! Into the shadows!
To be let free!
This one's mine!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Into the shadows!
Take this! Don't suffer in
Not on my watch! Eat dirt! It's weakened!
This ends
None shall escape my judgment!
Don't suffer in
Deny!
Eat dirt!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Anything normal is all this one.
Prepare to be freeze here!
Not on my watch!
Can't get out of this!
Magic is down! Sleep now!
Not today!
I'll be saving this field! Where are you going? Lightning orb! Raging
Forgive me.
Freezing storm! I'll be saving this one! Ice tornado!
I'm ready!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Lightning band!
Imbue this
Gravitas field! Pain between heaven and earth! I'll bring you back from Zestiria field!
Here I come!
Into the it's about to strike!
Ready and ready!
You look sharp, everyone!
Smash you!
I'm ready.
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
No more playing nice! Into the shadows!
Fairy circle!
I owe you.
Crescent flash!
Far enough! I still got some fight left in me. It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
From beyond, imbue this
Think again! Now, raise your
Double demon
In here!
Now we'll have destruction!
I'll be saving this one!
Take this!
Hit!
You're
Where
mine!
that came from!
From
I
outside.
never miss!
Raging with the storm!
Don't give up!
Take this!
Now,
This vanquished soul
I'll be
with love
saving this one!
resuscitation!
Resuscitation! Vanquish darkness!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Gravitas field!
Regenerate!
Now into the shadows!
Our arms are being interrupted! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Gravitas field!
Regenerate.
Lightning condemned!
From
Into the
beyond,
shadows!
imbue
Pain
this
between
vanquished
heaven and
soul.
earth! Blah blah blah!
Nothing
Then
gets by
divine
me.
save! Blah
Far
blah blah!
enough!
Into the shadows! I never miss! I'll bring you back!
Ready and perfect! I need something.
You need to be healed!
The mighty have fallen.
I'll bring you back from death! Resuscitation! With natural energy! Magic is there! I'll heal you all! Here goes!
Out of the woods.
Healing circle!
Thanks.
Illuminate! Magic is there! Holy lamp!
Ignite!
None shall escape my judgment! I'm almost impressed!
Our praise coming from you.
I said almost, don't get carried away.
Regeneration! Pieces! Attack time! Regenerate!
None shall... Blah, blah, blah. Right, watch out!
Another incantation ruined.
So thy music yearns to be less free.
None shall escape my judgment! Dance in the wind! Air dropping again! You're open! None shall escape my judgment! Don't leave me! I'll bring you back from Zestiria! You did the same for me. I save you!
Shine! Radiant
Not
light!
in your dreams!
Force of regeneration! Won't save you! Regenerate!
Photon ray! I'm
Demon Lash!
sorry.
Eagle Ray! Penumbra! I'm ready! Soaring Blast! From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with light! Bestow thy mystic
I
mercy!
can't move.
Benediction!
Denied! None shall escape me!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with light!
Now! Hidara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Now it's just her! Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shionne, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kalzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shionne,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dahna's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe... Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that? If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dahna.
But the will of Dahna is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dahna's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dahna's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shionne's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shionne's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens, I'm determined to save Shionne and Dahna. Nothing I learn can change that. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Core's. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Vholran.
Vholran? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Vholran are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman? It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Vholran as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dahna. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive.
And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renans Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renans Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renans Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renans Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renans Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renans Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dahna. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Dahnan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shionne, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shionne.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shionne at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shionne. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shionne. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store. Vholran! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma.
Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dahna.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dahna's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renas Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Armor won't save you!
Magic Not my judgment!
Take this!
I'll be taking this one! That'll bring you down!
Not today!
Benediction
By the power of flame! Vanish without a threat!
I'm ready! Storm! Double demon!
Denied! Light and cloud! None shall escape my judgment!
Ignite! Regeneration!
Confiscate!
Another incantation ruin.
None shall escape my judgment! None shall escape my judgment!
Ready and ready! Now you see what I can do!
None shall escape my judgment! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Soaring blast!
I couldn't make it in time.
None shall escape my judgment!
Get out of this!
Imbue this vanquished soul with love and hesitation! Again! Here I come! None shall escape my judgment! Holy Lance! None shall escape my judgment!
Sonic thrust!
Heart sealed!
Benediction.
Not on my watch! None shall escape my judgment! Lightning orb!
Be let free!
Light and cloud! Sleep now!
Regeneration!
I'll be safe this way!
No art to being interrupted. Allow me to help you.
Primed and ready! And this world! Far enough! More with the helicopter! Where are you going?
Lightning flame! Now we're never. You picked the wrong fight!
Lightning raging cascade!
No further!
Gravitas field! Breath!
Plasma shot!
Into the shadows!
Demon Lair!
Here goes!
Eagle Rage!
Azure Storm! Double demon fest!
Down on the ground!
Azure Storm! Demon fest!
Raging cascade! Don't leave me! Breath!
Armor won't save you!
None shall escape my galaxy of lightning!
Imbue this vanquished soul with love resuscitation!
Benediction light.
Not done yet!
Raging cascade!
Demon
I'll
fang!
bring you back from death and wailing struggle! The abyssal beast clear for us. Shine, radiant light. Regenerate to be let free. Prepare to be Don't resonate with the earth. No further. Sword Rain Alpha.
If it's in the sky, it's mine. Heaven and earth. I'm never fixed. A wailing dancing light shall escape my judgment. Illuminate the sky. None shall escape my judgment.
Don't suffer in silence.
May a thousand gales carry your blood. None shall escape my judgment. Dance in the wind. Air thrust. A gravitary field. Leave the soul to me.
Don't suffer in silence.
Not today. None shall escape my judgment.
Take this.
This one's mine. I'm never fixed.
Armor won't save you.
Roll up field. A whirling into the shadows. Winds of heaven.
Stay away from my friend!
Resurrection! I'll bring you back from
Be still!
Bestow thy
Eat dirt!
into the shadows. A freezing storm. None shall escape. It's time to finish this. Die! Consuming wildfire!
Rising Water!
Far enough! Armor won't save you!
Not on my watch! That'll bring you down!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Burning strike! Raging cascade!
No further!
Sword Rain Alpha!
None shall escape my judgment!
Heal!
Orochi's Fury! Double Demon
Can't be happening!
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Elfin. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's... Stop them before this gets out of hand.
Now you see what I can do! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
Can't get out of this!
Explosion!
Show thy mystic mercy!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Came between heaven and earth! A wailing dancing of lightning! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! A whirling struggle! Corner! Explosion!
Bloody
Where are you going?
Anything in the air is all mine!
Ignite!
A wailing dancing of lightning! Sleep now!
Air pressure!
Occupied.
Carve through armor! Stalagmite!
By the power of flame!
Let free!
War with that case!
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Not on my watch!
Another incantation. I need something.
You need to be healed!
How the mighty have fallen.
Vanish without a trace! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Benediction.
Explosion! That'll bring you down!
Evil prepared.
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Winds of heaven! Burst forth!
Dragon Swarm!
Explosion! Raging cascade! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! I'll be saving you!
Storm!
Ready and ready!
Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Raging storm! War with that case, Ron!
Allow me to help you.
Illuminate the power!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Azure Storm!
By the power of flame! May a thousand gales carry you by the power of flame!
In a bind?
Without a trail!
Raging Luna Storm!
Explosion! I'll never fit! One more! Illuminate the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
Let me free you of your power!
Burn in hell!
Dispense! Shine! Radiant light! Regeneration! Regenerate!
Soaring light spear!
Allow me to help.
Leave the charges to me!
Denied!
Soaring light spear!
This one's mine!
By the radiant flame! Finish without a trace!
Show thy mystic mercy!
A chain between heaven and earth! By the power of flame! A wailing fancy of lightning! Divine speed! Blah, blah, blah! None shall escape my judgment! Easter! Blah, blah, blah! I never fit! None shall escape my judgment!
No further!
Ray! By the power of flame!
Ignite!
Without a trace! My axe dance in the wind! Explosion! No heaven and earth! Magic is there! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace! Explosion!
Leave the chargers to me!
Raging cascade! Magic is there! Not on my watch!
Forward up!
By the power of wind! Carve now through all steel!
Begin!
I'll be saving this one! Explosion!
Burn! I'll face you!
That'll bring you down! Raging cascade! Power of flame!
Castle in a bind!
Blah, blah, blah!
Rising Wyvern!
Sleep now!
Show thy mystic mercy! Armor won't save you! Dragon
Glory serpent! None shall escape my judgment!
Raging wind!
A freezing storm!
Let free! Heal!
Confiscated! I owe you.
Snake could
I
be a
order a freezing storm! Now through all! I order! More for the top! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace! Don't give up! Come forth! Holy land! Nothing gets lost! A chain between heaven and earth! Blah, blah, blah! Meditation! Heal! Let me show you what my art is! I'm ready!
Rising Wyvern!
A chain between heaven and earth! Resurrection! That'll bring you down! Lightning! I'll bring you back from death! In here! By the power of flame! Finish without a
Can't get
trace!
out of this! Double demon! I'll smash you!
Explosion! Astral energy! By the power of flame! Finish
Not
without
today!
a trace! Ready!
Bathed in blood, rending you apart! Bloody
The flame explosion! Finish! Blah, blah, blah! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace! Shining supernova! More without explosion! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace! Explosion! Ready to go!
Not today!
You get the dead! By the power of flame! Finish without a...
Armor won't save
I'll
you!
be saving this one!
Blow away!
I never fit! Dance in the wind!
In a bind?
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace! Blah, blah, blah!
Be still!
Steel! Explosion! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
This one's mine!
None shall escape my judgment! Carve now through all flame! Blah, blah, blah! None shall escape my judgment! Now! Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Vanquish darkness!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dahna, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dahna. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Dahnan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Vholran. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Vholran was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dahna. Just like us. Isn't that right, Vholran?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dahnan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
Too late! You can't stay here!
We need to go! Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who consequences to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Vholran... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renasalma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Vholran mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renasalma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dahna. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Vholran to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Dahnan.
Yeah. In a good way, like with us.
Dispose of the trash.
No! What save you?
Release between heaven and earth. If you won't bow all night, then you leave me no choice. I never fit. None shall escape my judgment.
You're mine!
None shall escape my judgment. Denied.
Hold nothing back!
None shall escape.
In a vine,
Be my guest!
resonate with the earth. Stalagmite, on your knees.
Go!
Burn in hell!
Illuminate the dark! Holy light! Now! Alvin! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Anything in armor is all mine.
None shall escape! If it's in the sky, don't leave me!
We're not finished!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Resuscitation!
Where are you going?
Not on my watch! None shall escape my judgment! Ray!
Locked and loaded.
Rise and shine! You do the same for me.
Locked and loaded.
Sacred dark! Freezing storm! Ready to go! Light tornado! None shall escape my judgment!
Take this.
Ray! A freezing storm! It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Pathetic!
Not today!
No further.
It's too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up.
Escape my
Megasonic Blast!
Escape my judgment! I may have bit off more than I could chew. I'll be saving this one. Burning strike!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Here goes!
On your
Bring him down!
I'll smash you! Breaking strike! By the power of flame! Finish without
That makes me the thorn in the side.
rising up!
explosion!
The enemy wields armor too.
We'll soon see about that! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
I have no limits.
Denied!
Damn it! Bestow thy mystic mercy.
Explosion! Where are you going?
Fairy circle.
By the power of flame!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno. Swallow blade. Bestow
By the
thy
power of
mystic mercy.
flame! Lightning orb!
Azure burning hell.
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Azure storm.
Sleep now!
Finish it.
Over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Bestow thy
Now!
mystic
What is
mercy.
the name Ranger? Zephyr Trident! Ready and ready! I'll smash you! More with that hard steel! One more! My watch! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
This one's mine.
Lightning condemned!
Finish it.
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. I can feel my power growing. What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnagin, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd—
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Tarnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?